Hei. Takk for at du hører på Vikingpodden. Vår podcast drives på dugnad. Alt vårt innhold er gratis, og vi har en del utgifter knyttet til podcasten. Du kan derfor støtte podden ved å vippse et valgfritt beløp til Vikingpodden, vips nummer 765728.
Just starting.
Cool, let's go for it.
Welcome to episode 191 of Viking-podden, and it's in English because of you, Joe Bell. Welcome.
Thank you, Lars. Yeah, excited to be here.
Good to have you back.
Cheers, yeah, nice to be back.
It's been a while. I looked at this is episode 191. The last time we had you was episode 37.
Okay, wow.
That's good.
That's some progress.
Yeah, it was before the 2021 season, which ended quite well for you.
Yeah, and for the team.
And for the team.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to have you back, and we talked to you on the day you signed, and there was a lot of things going on, but now you're a bit settled in and ready to give your all for Viking again.
Yeah, for sure. It's always chaos a little bit when you're moving between the countries and of course clubs, but yeah, definitely feeling more settled now, so that's nice.
And we did a live pod show this weekend, and Kristoffer Løkberg, he told us that you have asked the guys to speak Norwegian to you. Are you trying to learn Norwegian, or have you been studying while in Denmark?
I've been learning a little bit, mainly through friends, obviously with Sebastian and Henrik at Brøndby. So yeah, I've definitely progressed since I was last here, but please don't ask me to speak on the live podcast, because I think then if I look back at it in the future, I'll be like, oh my god, I was so bad, so I'm not going to do it.
So no talking at all? Nothing? No words or anything?
I'll save it until I'm fluent.
Okay, can I just, one question, what's your favorite fish?
Salmon is my favorite fish.
Not even that one? Okay.
Not even that one.
Well, then we have to get you back someday.
For sure.
Can you just take us a little bit through the summer of this, starting straight on the summer of 2023, when there was talks all summer that you might be coming, and then it looked like the deal was off, and then quite sudden you came back. Can you tell us a little bit about your move?
Yeah, pretty classic football, to be honest. Obviously, it's up, down, and it was a period where I obviously hadn't been playing so much at Brøndby for an extended period. So, of course, you, as a player, you begin to, reevaluate the options. And I think the speed of it is, I think that's just normal football, to be honest. The rumours do go around, but I've been in contact with Viking nearly the entire period that I was away. And of course, I have a really strong relationship with the coaches and a lot of the players as well. So I think that's why from the outside, it looked like it went, really, really fast. But there were a lot of discussions going on in the background for a long period of time. And everything, worked out how all parties wanted it. So it was kind of, perfect and exciting. And as I've said so many times, it's just nice to be back.
Mm. And jumping a little bit in time, 2021, as we talked about, because you signed for Viking 2020 before the season, played 2 full seasons, and got a bronze, 3rd place in the Eliteserien. Can you just tell us something like, when looking back at that period, what was the good and bad things back then?
Over the 2 years?
Yeah,
a lot of learning in 2 years for that period as well. Obviously, it was COVID, and that, posed some difficult challenges. Being a foreigner in a new country, and it was the first time I was in a non-English speaking country, and then having, the country shut down and not being able to get home for Christmas and things like this. I think that was probably the biggest challenge. But in saying that, it was kind of also one of the strengths that highlighted for me with being a part of the team was building the relationships with the boys, with the coaches, with the staff behind the scenes, and the friendships that I built with them through a period that was difficult for a lot of foreign players was probably one of the strongest points of my football career so far. From a football standpoint, it was really good. I think I had a lot of development from my first year to my second, and I think that mainly came from obviously Morten and Batty that are there now, the work that they were doing with me behind the scenes, and how receptive they were to me and some of my ideas on the pitch. And I think that really accelerated my development across those 2 seasons. So that was really good, and I think that's those 2 in particular are a big reason of me wanting to be here and play football here. I think they elevate my game in a lot of ways.
And the season ended in 3rd place, and then you left for seeing your family for the first time in probably 2 years. And you never came back.
No, sorry.
Before moving away. Can you take us a little bit through what was happening January 2022?
Yeah, January 2022, obviously I was, as you said, away with family for the first time in a couple of years. So that was really nice to get away from the football. In terms of the transfer, which I feel like you're more asking about, again, pretty classic football from what I've experienced so far in my career.
Yeah, because just to take us back, it was there was talks about Veton Berisha leaving the whole period, and it also back then felt quite sudden that it was you, Joe, that was going to leave. There was interest from Brøndby. Of course, we knew that you were attracting interest from clubs. You had offer from, or a club made an offer to Viking from an English club during the summer 2021, I think. But Brøndby, it was quick and it was painful for us, at least.
It was extremely quick. It was the last day of the window that the interest came through, and from my understanding of football, that's kind of the jigsaw puzzle. They sold a midfielder on nearly the last day, so then became pretty desperate to sign a new one. And that's kind of how it goes, and I'm sure it's the same for many other players in this most recent window as well.
And you've been talking a little bit about this in other interviews as well, and this has been one of the things that Viking supporters have been holding against you the last day, and what happened. Of course, we don't know all the details, and we have got one side of the story, and we don't know what is true in that. But why do you think that people were really angry with the way it happened?
Yeah, to be honest, I can completely understand the frustration. It was a transfer that happened so fast on the last day, and I think that's always going to make an elevated situation. And then also, which I've discussed since returning, is how the transfer went down, and that's obviously something that I regret a lot myself. And I think it's easy for me to blame it on being young, but I do see it as part of my growth and my understanding of navigating through this football world. But I think the speed of it and the feeling of me leaving so abruptly and so not distinctively, but in the way that it went down on that last day, it's clearly frustrating for a fan, and it's something that I wish I could go back and do differently, which is what I've said in the past since arriving, but it really is the truth.
Have you been I mean, we could say that it's easy for you to say this now because it's coming back to the club, but is this anything you've been discussing with the team around you or other people while in Copenhagen as well? Has been something you've been thinking about while away?
Yeah, I suppose it's something nice to share, I guess, that it wasn't, although it was quite like an abrupt severance from a player not being involved in the club anymore and being away in Denmark. But, for me personally, the relationships that I had built from that time, they all carried on through my period in Denmark. So I was talking a lot with the boys and actually saw them in Copenhagen when they came for the trip. And, staying in touch with them through that whole period. So it was kind of discussions on that specific transfer. They kind of occurred over the whole year and a half, and then coming back, it wasn't a discussion to have, you know what I mean? Because we'd already had them and we'd already kind of talked about them and moved on about it. So yeah, it was, the boys have been so open and receptive, and just the great friends that they are to me.
And Viking as a club, this is something that I think is a good thing, because we had Eirik Bjarne in the pod here in the Easter, and he was going to Copenhagen like in a month or so, and he talked to us after that. He was I don't know if he said wondering if you wanted to see him, or he was wanting to meet with you. So it looked like the club also wanted to have the relationship going.
For sure. I think that last day and the transfer, I think, highlighted, or between me and the club, we went through a period of football that is never fun. You know what I mean? We did disagree on certain aspects. I think that's clear for everyone to see. You know what I mean? And that was hard, because we both have, or I hope, but I can only speak from my standpoint, but no, we do have a lot of respect for each other. And we are good friends now, of course, and we were then too. So it's always difficult because Viking is such a family club, and the relationships within them are so strong, when that clashes with a difficult side of football, it always makes a situation that's a little bit uncomfortable. And it was uncomfortable, and of course, just me reiterating, but maybe the pathway that it went down was, a big part on me, and that was the big mistake. But I think there's been, recognition from both sides that was a mistake, but respect enough to maintain the relationship and maintain communication through, to be honest, most of the period that I was away. And I obviously can't ask for much more as a player, recognizing that, I can have that growth in that period, or that learning, and them still be, receptive to me. And I think that shows the strength and the relationships that we had and continue to have. And obviously it was something that we've already, addressed with the club before signing back here, and something that we've completely moved on by. We didn't do it over a beer because we were we're in season, of course, but no, we definitely feel like buried the hatchet and moved on from that. And I think that's of course I'm going to say the best thing, because it was on me a little bit, but no, it's just been a nice feeling to really get that finally behind and move on to the most important thing, which is getting settled and helping the team.
So it wasn't like you needed to have an extra meeting before signing with I don't know, Bjarne or Nevland or the captain's team to I'm sorry. It was kind of a natural, and doing it as you went along and repairing and mending what might have been broken along the way. Do I understand it right?
Yeah.
Or broken,
I would,
damaged.
Broken gives it a hard sense, but I definitely think, over time that those relationships that were strained or hurt in the whole process of that transfer were rebuilding over time, and are definitely rebuilt now, which is the best thing.
The most important thing.
Yeah, for sure, within the club. And I think, for sure the easiest thing to do that was with the players, because I think they probably know me the best, and maybe know more, maybe the more you know about me, the more easier it would be to understand that. But that's sometimes a little bit difficult to get that across to media or fans, because sometimes you only see us play on the weekend, you know what I mean? So I found that the easiest with the boys, and then of course with the club, where you're obviously gonna have that professional conflict at times. That one took more time, but was something that I really appreciated, that we worked together for to rebuild over the period, and as I said, rebuilt now. And then the last one is the fans, you know what I mean, which is probably the most complicated one, because I feel like it probably, or my decision at that time, hurt them the most with how fast it went through. And yeah, I completely understand that frustration, because and this is what I was trying to say when I first got back. It is easy for me to say that I loved my 2 years here and it was fantastic, and the boys and the city and everything, and then people easily say, well, why did you decide to leave then? You know what I mean? Which is the obvious question to answer, and that's why I'm like, I completely understand the frustration, because when you look at it from that perspective, then yeah, it's a huge mistake, and I should not have made that decision, and especially not taken it the path that it went. You know what I mean? But it is a little bit more complicated with that, and that's always going to be a difficult thing for professional footballers, choosing how much they want to share of their life outside of football and involving that with football, because that's who we are as players. But coming back to it in terms of rebuilding it with the fans, I don't follow the media so much, and I would say the reception with the people that I met in the city and at the games has been fantastic. So I can't ask for anything more. But I know I'm gonna have to prove it to some people, because I actually have no idea. I've had some really nice experiences with fans, but I don't know if some people really do hold it against me still and are really disappointed with me. But in full honesty, I would accept it if that's still the case, and I recognize that I'm gonna have to. There is nothing I can say. I could go on endless podcasts or media and say, oh no, I love this and I love the city, and yeah, I'm sorry, like, forgive me, you know what I mean? But it's not going to be enough, and I got to show it in the games and in my attitude towards Viking. And you know, signing a long contract here was a little bit like, I'm trying to show how much I do want to be here, you know what I mean? But I know the most important thing is going to be the performances on the pitch, and how I show myself to the team and the fans, and on Sundays and in training. And I think that's really the best way forward for proving it to the people that still disagree with me or don't like me because of it. But that is part of football, and I'm excited for that challenge, and I'm excited to show it too.
I mean, we can only speak for ourselves and what the listeners have sent to us. And one question we got from Stefan Christensen is, are you aware of the admiration for you? So, I mean, then
okay, that's nice.
At least some do have the admiration, but
okay.
Yeah. Thank you for being open about these things. I know it's not maybe I think we will get into happier things, talking about like more fun things later in the pod. But I think it's interesting to hear your thoughts on what happened before. You moved to Brøndby, and it was an okay start. You were quick to get into the team. You were playing quite a bit, but the team, as you said, they sold their midfielder, but they also sold a really good striker, and were struggling after a while. It was the coach got fired after a year or so. Can you try to give us some insights on why it didn't work out for you, seeing as you were the best midfielder in the league, looking like you could dominate games even if you were on 70% in the Norwegian Eliteserie, and having a hard time in what we supporters think is quite similar level, just a bit further south.
Why it didn't work out? Wow, that's a complicated question. I think there's a few reasons why it didn't. I think the success that I had in the second year at Viking with Morten and Beate, I played a very specific role in the team, and the specific role as a deep lying six in the way that we played with the ball, I think it hit all my strengths that I can do on a football pitch. It didn't demand so much physical attributes from me, although I think defensively I was, I made a lot of developments that year, but I was basically just asked to pass the ball, which is probably one of my biggest strengths. So I think my learning from the period in Brøndby was more, okay, I clearly suit specific systems, and the role that I was asked to carry out at Brøndby was not completely different to the role that I played at Viking, but it was a different role, and it did require different strengths, different attributes, although it did still allow me to play in the midfield. Me being me is not trying to blame the circumstances or the environment at all, because I don't think that was the case. I think it's more, I actually don't think I was good enough at the time to be so all-rounded in the midfield to have success in a different system, because we were far less focused with the ball, and I think nearly all my strengths come from with the ball. So when you bring that down and you elevate some of the other weaknesses, then I think it really highlighted to me it's quite minute details when you get to this level in football. And I think I dropped a few percent, whereas playing in the last year at Viking, I was probably, hitting I wouldn't say the maximum. I think I could have still played much, much better, but it was bringing out my key attributes, which allowed me to get 2 or 3% maybe more on other players.
And it was interesting because I've been following Brøndby after both Henrik and you and Salve left for the club, and as you have been following Viking, right? A while away. Viking went into a time of struggles and started to shift around with formations and try out different things. And didn't the same happen in Brøndby? You were playing suddenly in a different way than before, and it was quite confusing sometimes. I didn't understand what was happening.
We did shift around. I think that's always going to be challenging for the players on the team. I found it especially challenging because every time we changed formation, the role would slightly change, and that kind of comes back to the previous point I was making, as I don't know if I was quite I think ready for it or good enough, essentially, because I think I wasn't adaptable enough to meet all the changes that were happening. But of course it was a little bit frustrating because it's definitely a level that I could see myself performing at, and there were a few games when things lined up where that did come through. But that's football, and that's the ruthlessness at that level, is you have to be consistent, and if you have to compete against other players that are also phenomenal and really strong. So it was good learning.
Was it tough as well, or was it a hard time?
From a football standpoint? Definitely. I think hard time is a pretty general statement to throw on it, but the football was difficult. There was a lot of competition within the team, and I definitely felt myself a little bit frustrated because I felt like it was a level that I could really perform at, but it didn't quite line up in the way that I wanted it to, and that's a frustration that I still hold a little bit, because obviously you have to deal with the fact that essentially you couldn't do it, which is a tough one to accept, because I think I could have, but I think that's the learning, and that's the motivation, and the growth from it is I do want to show that I can do it for more than 1 year.
So you have it feels like, from what I'm hearing, that you are really motivated to show the world that you can still be the Joe from Viking in 2021, or like even better than the one you were when you left?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't say motivated to the fact to
Not like
prove to others that I can do it, but I am motivated to show myself again on the football pitch. Yeah.
There's been quite a few questions from the listeners. I think one of them is really suitable to take here. What part of your game do you think you have developed the most in your period in Brøndby? It was Knut Rie Larsen that asked this question.
Okay. I would say the mental part of the game, but a part of me doesn't want to say that because I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm fully. I don't think that's ever a point where you're gonna be like, yeah, that's perfect. You know what I mean? But I do think that was, it's always been a big focus of mine, and I think because it was difficult, it was probably the biggest growth or change over the period. Yeah.
That's of course an important aspect of being a footballer, because you get in now in Viking it's going really well, and everyone looks happy, but we know that can change with an injury or with a loss against Sandefjord. Who knows? But also got some insight that maybe you discovered that joys of shopping in Copenhagen. Copenhagen being a big city and everything. Have you been bitten by, as we say in norsk, motebasillen, getting the latest fashion? Fashion is the English word.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who gave you that tip.
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say that. No. I think maybe I got a little bit better at dressing the way that I would like to dress.
Okay, yeah. I mean, big city, you never know what it does to a person too.
Yeah, true. But I got to be careful. I think I said in one of my first interviews after signing with Brøndby, we were down in Portugal, and I said like, it's nice to be in Portugal, but I'm excited to get back to Copenhagen and get settled. And yeah, they killed me for it, so I can't talk about Copenhagen too much.
Okay, why did they kill you for it?
Because Brøndby is 20 minutes out of Copenhagen, so you don't actually, although of course some players live in the city and a lot of boys are Danish, so of course they're going to, it's not the best way to start by saying you're excited to get to Copenhagen, because it's more of a connection to FCK, but no, it is, it's a really beautiful place.
Yeah, so it might be, if you were playing for Sandnes Ulf, you would say that I'm really happy to get back to Stavanger.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. So yeah, again, learning.
Yeah. We will soon be moving to Viking. Just one, maybe with some questions we'll touch on something in Brøndby, but what was the best thing about living in Copenhagen and your 18 months away or something?
The people that I met and the friends that I made while over there. So some I imagine to be lifelong friends, but that's nearly always the case. It would have been the same thing that I said when coming here, and then not being here. It's always going to be the people.
You it looks like you have been hanging quite a bit with Sebastian Sebulonsen, and you've been talking about having friends here in Viking. Who did you? Is there anyone in the team now that you stayed in touch with during all the period, or was it when they were in Copenhagen they visited, or was it like throughout the?
Lots, to be honest. If I start naming them, then it feels unfair, because then I'll probably forget some people. But probably 7 or 8 boys I easily stayed in touch with over the whole period, which was really nice. And obviously I saw them in Copenhagen at the end of the year, because I hope the fans know that I'm not revealing any hidden details or something.
No, they dressed in.
Okay, they do know that. Nice, cool.
What's it called?
The Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders, yeah.
But I saw them, and that was really nice to catch up with everyone, and lots of them. So that's why it makes it so easy coming back now, because you're just picking up off friendships that you've already made. You know what I mean? And of course, stayed in contact with the coaches as well. So that was nice, and yeah.
So it was an easy decision when Brøndby and Viking finally agreed on the terms to get you back. You went. You got quite. Sorry.
It's okay.
You were. How do you say it? Sorry. And now is when I really wish Alex is here, because his English is superior. You came back. It was the Monday, I think, in the week, and then Saturday you were playing. But it's a little bit different the way Viking are playing now. Can you, from your point of view or from your position in the team, what's different now from when you left in the way we play?
Yeah, I think it is different. I just think it's an upgraded form of what we were doing in 2021. I think we're more consistent, we're more dominant, we're more I want to say creating more chances, although like people would say, okay, we're not making clear-cut chances, but that's because all the teams pretty much sit deep. But I think we're creating goals far stronger and far more consistently. And yeah, I do just see it as an upgraded form of 2021, and I think we have more tools in the arsenal. Like we have more ways of creating goals, more ways of playing out from the back, and yeah, that's why I think it's such a exciting period to be in Viking, because knowing the people behind the scenes and knowing the boys on the team, I don't see that development stopping. You know what I mean? So it only gets stronger, and it's only more learning. And obviously it was a difficult period at the end of the season last year, but the boys for sure learned from it. You know what I mean? And that's the growth, and that's the environment that has formed in Viking now. That even if results don't go the way that we want them to, it's not getting brushed under the carpet, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's always I feel it's too stereotypical to say a growth mindset, but it really is. It's looking all the time on ways to get better and understanding ourselves better and expressing who Viking is on the pitch in more ways. So yeah, different, but there's still so many aspects of what we began in 2021 that have carried over or become, and I think it's just like a snowball effect of just getting better and better and stronger.
And so winning 2-0 in Haugesund, back to work on, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, it wasn't partying and celebrating the win. It was as it should be, looking forward to how could we do better, because it wasn't a perfect game. No,
for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the partying's like on a Sunday night though either, so I don't think there was much opportunity for that. But no, it wasn't the best game. And we didn't play so well, but we did win 2-0 away. And although I don't think they had the strongest performance either, we still found a way to win in a difficult game where we didn't quite show ourselves in the way that we wanted to. But yeah, it was turning up on the start of the week, and we just got straight into, okay, where did this go wrong? Why did we not do that? What were the strengths? What were the weaknesses? And yeah, it's been a week full of analysis and trainings, characterized or customized to suit what we didn't do in that game in preparation for Sandefjord. So yeah, it's a nice feeling, and it's not a feeling. You're obviously happy with the win, and it was an awesome experience with the fans that we had up at that game. But yeah, you still come away a little bit disappointed, but excited to develop it even more. So that was good, and take it on to Sunday.
Yeah. It'll be exciting to see. Max Oliver, 327. He wonders how you have become accustomed to your new role, because you were a deep lying 6 2021 season, and Markus Solbakken was your replacement, and now you're playing besides him and in a bit different setup in the midfield. How can you describe the setup in the midfield and answer the question, how has you settled into the new role for you?
Working progress.
Sorry about that.
No worries. No, work in progress on that. Of course, when I was here last, it was the deep lying 6, but Marcus is, from playing with him just 2 games now, he's a phenomenal player. And I think he's on in a really good, strong point of form, and he's really made that position his own, and it's exactly what the team needs right now. And for me coming in, of course, I think my strengths are probably more suited for a deep lying 6, but what the team needs from me now is a position a little bit more higher. But it's a work in progress for me. It's 8's not always been my position, but of course there's crossover from being a 6 and being an 8, and I think as each game goes on, I'm learning quite fast on things to adjust and things to adapt to, and I think I actually thought I played better in the Vålerenga game than I did in the Haugesund game, but I learned more from the Haugesund game. So that was good, and adjusting and speaking with the boys and building the relationships on the pitch, I think it's a challenge, but it's a fun one too.
Can you say something about what things maybe you learned from the Haugesund game, or what you're working, some specific things for us to look for when looking at the next game, or throughout the season?
Then you guys can criticize me if I don't do it. I'm not sure I want to say. No, I think the Haugesund game, my positioning as an 8 was a little bit off. I get a bit I wouldn't say childish, but I get really focused on being on the ball in the game, and of course that's going to be the case because I see it as one of my strengths, but in doing so I sometimes get dragged out of a position where the team needs me to be. So although I'm getting the ball and I'm happy with being involved in the game, it's not exactly what the team needs from me in those situations. So being a little bit more structured in the position and trusting the teammates to get the ball to me in the correct positions. It's more of a positioning thing than anything else.
There is we got from Sunniva, and I don't find the other one asking about this, but who of the guys in the team that you didn't know from before has impressed you the most?
It's again one of those situations I don't want to say someone and feel like I'm letting out others, so I'm gonna hit so many people. Diop is unbelievable. Fantastic player, fantastic guy, works unbelievably hard. Langås, just playing the game against Haugesund, obviously he was a clear standout in the game. Another fantastic player. I think I don't know who's the head recruiter at Viking, but they definitely should be getting a pay rise. Yazbek, fantastic, covers a lot of ground in the midfield, but also really strong on the ball. I could probably list nearly all the new players that we have. Dags as well up top, phenomenal, and phenomenal work ethic as well. And obviously, he's in a situation where it's kind of rotational on his position, but you can already tell that he's totally there for the team, because in training he's always one of the best. Now I really have to think so I don't forget. I've really been enjoying playing with Sander Svendsen. He's his football mind is I think we see football in a similar way, and that's always fun to play midfield with someone like that. He's really intelligent. So already after a few weeks I feel like I'm learning stuff from him, which is great. And I think he's a strong player, and Salve up top as well is I think it's pretty clear that he has a lot of qualities on the pitch. So definitely trying to build a connection with him. because we also are starting to see pictures the same way, and I think that kind of comes. It does take time. It obviously took time with Veton in the past, but I'm really hoping to start linking up with him a little bit more and creating some goals between us. Yeah.
So you think you thought it was hard to find who have impressed you the most? Maybe who has impressed you the least?
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
No, but is there anything that have surprised you from getting back to Viking? Some, I don't know, players or staff or anything around the team that is different that has surprised you, or has it all been as expected?
I think it's a bit boring, but I would say expected, because
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I don't think it is either. But obviously it was a tough period last year, which was it was a tough period at the end of the year last year, which was probably frustrating as fans and maybe a little bit unexpected with how the period had gone prior to that. But like, it's just to me, it was like a small bump in the trajectory that the team's gone on over the past 2 years. Like, it really doesn't surprise me at all. I know the players, I know the captains of the group, I know the staff. It was inevitable. And although, that period wasn't fun, it was still an upward trajectory if you're looking at it now. You know what I mean? And that's why I say it. No, I'm not surprised, because I think the environment's become everything that I thought it was gonna become. So, no, boring answer, but no, I think it's where it should be, and I know where it's going as well, assuming we continue the ways that we've been approaching everything.
Some of the questions you've got in we have touched on, so thank you to Ola Egeland for asking about the formation stuff. Can take this as it should be fun to talk about. How does it feel being top of the league?
Yeah,
this is quite rare. We've never been in my lifetime, I think, in first place in September.
It's a good feeling. I think I'm maybe the worst person to ask that question though too. Whether it's a defensive mechanism in the head, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think on it too much, to be honest. But I think, players in the team will answer this question differently, because I think for some people it's really motivating, and for fans, I imagine, of course, it's a really special feeling, but I think maybe within fans it's the same as well. You could be nervous that it may not stay, or excited that you're there. I don't know. And I think everyone's different on that, but so if you're asking just me, then I would say, to be honest, I don't think about it too much, because I personally don't get so much benefit from thinking on it now. Of course, if it's December 4th and we're saying the same thing, then it will be different. But no, I think I like to think that it doesn't change anything for us. So whether or not it's subconsciously affecting me, I don't know, but I really don't think it makes too much difference. I think the same way when we go into training and going into Sandefjord on Sunday, it doesn't matter if we're number 1 or we're number 10. You know what I mean? I personally think that's the correct way to approach it, but again, everyone's different, and some people are like, okay, we're top of the league, like, let's go, like, this is it, you know what I mean? Which I respect and understand, but it's not quite me.
But I remember 2 years ago, I think it was after you scored a screamer against Rosenborg.
Okay.
And we were in the fighting in the top, and everyone, when we asked them in the interviews, people were like, no, it's fun, it's good, but we just take one game at a time and see how far it gets, the classic answers. And I think you were like, if not the only one, at least one of very few who said something, no, we have to look to the top now. We are fighting for the top space. We have to. You were quite tough, saying that, and of course the fans like this, and it's been a bit of a talk about daring to say that we are a top team, and I think we do it now. But how do you see this thing? Now you talked about the players are different, people are motivated from differently, but do we have to be so afraid to say that no, we are going for it? I mean, we know that you are.
Yeah.
If not, why would you play?
Yeah, good point. I hope it's not misunderstood. Like I still feel the same way now. Like for sure, 100% we're going for it. Like
that's good.
I think there's recognition that we have the players, we have the team, we have the environment for it. Of course we're going for it, but again, I think it comes back to what I was saying before. Like everyone views it differently. You know what I mean? So if you're asking one player in the tunnel after the game, like, okay, are we going for it? They may want to be like, it's okay. Like we take one game at a time because they would rather be more relaxed about it. But yeah, I personally think deep down, everyone, of course we're pushing for it. But yeah, I am still a foreign player, although it does start to feel like home here. But I haven't grown up in the Norwegian football from the start. I've only been here for 2 years, and although I think my understanding is strong, I think maybe it's harder to say for over a longer period of time, or the last 20, 30 years, to be like, okay, we're going for number one. So for me it's easy because the period that I've been here, I think we've always been a strong 1 to top 4 team, you know what I mean? So of course for me I'm like, easy answer, you know what I mean? Like we're always going to push for it. But I think a lot of players really believe it now.
Do you I was talking to you a little bit after the Vålerenga game, I think, when Bodø/Glimt was playing HamKam, and your old teammate Gamleby scored a goal against Bodø/Glimt. Do you watch the other team's game, and are you like paying attention to that, or is it focusing just on you?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. In the past I've focused a lot on some other players that I think are doing what I need to do really well. But I don't watch so much of the other games, no.
I can just say that as a supporter, it's really hard struggling with these feelings to hoping that Rosenborg wins a game for our own chances.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, it's a situation we love to be in. Another thing that people talk a lot about, and you have expressed your admiration for earlier, is the supporters. We have really good supporters, and when we ask how important is the supporters, everyone says they're really important. Is this true, or is it just something they say?
Wow, I wonder what I'm going to answer here.
Setting you up for this one.
Yeah, easy assist. No, the supporters are huge. Yeah, and I think, I really think you get that when you ask any of the players, and you do understand the truth behind it, the difference that it makes, and the memories that it creates. I mean, even just talking about the Haugesund game on the weekend, what a fantastic experience to have 3,000 plus fans traveling up, and it felt more like a home game than an away game. And I mean, we were kind of joking before the game, like imagine being a Haugesund player in that game, and you've got the away fans that are making it more noise for the team that's traveling up there than they are for the home team. So it's a really cool experience, and I think the environment and the atmosphere of the fans now is fantastic. And even just being here for the past nearly a month now, the feeling in the city as well, and the motivation and excitement for the football, I think it's a really, really special feeling. But it makes such a huge difference, and the confidence you get as a player knowing that you're playing at home, the percentage it gives you more is it's huge. And I'm a big believer in the mentality stuff, and it's like going into the game on Sunday against Sandefjord. It gives you an extra probably 50% knowing that you're going to have your supporters there cheering for you and working hard for you no matter what. It's kind of unconditional support, which is it's all you can ask for as players. And again, I'm going to come back to the fact that I think everyone's a little bit different, but I think there's many players that use that support as a huge motivation or a foundation for their game. And I think it's really important. And yeah, it's a really fun time to be as a player in this team, but also just around the team and a part of this whole movement and the success that's been coming recently. But I don't think it's just specific to this period now. It was the same thing that I felt a year and a half ago and 2 years ago, and especially in 2021 when we had success. It's always much more fun when we're winning. But I've said, and it is the truth, I think the people that support this team and the city and everyone around it, it's a really special thing, and it really does leave a mark. And yeah, maybe I'm not one of the few, but one of the people that can say how much it means once you don't have it. You know what I mean? And that's not taking anything away from other supporters and other clubs, but it's a really unique feeling. Yeah.
Julie Førland is asking if you see or feel a difference in Felto, the supporters now, from when you left.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it's been one home game.
I've only had one home game, so I'll see it again on Sunday. But I think I would say I would probably be more general and say an attachment across all fans. There's been a lot of excitement now, especially with the success. But no, Felto in the past as well. They're huge supporters for us, and they make a ton of noise and a ton of ruckus, and that's always good. So no, I think their support for us is huge, but I would extend it across all the fans as well.
I think we're getting close to the end of the list of the questions. An interesting one from Kim Erlend, because you talked about the quality of the players in Brøndby. That was hard fight for the positions, and we supporters of Viking, of course, we think that how much better is Brøndby really? Kim Erlend is wondering if we could get some thoughts on the everyday training, like in Viking versus Brøndby, and what's the difference, and has it been a difference in quality, or what's the differences there?
Well, I had 2 coaches in Brøndby, and then speaking on Morten Beate, who I think are 2 fantastic coaches. So maybe that helps me with staying, getting in the team if they listen to this one.
Yeah, they do listen, so that's good.
It's hard to say that, because I think coaches just change. The coach's impact on the training sessions and how the environment is set up is obviously going to be very different. So I don't think it's the best question to be a judgment of the level. You know what I mean? Because I think it's going to be different with any coach that you have. I think I think there was a higher. I'm gonna try to say it right. We did have a lot of fantastic players at Brøndby, and I think that's maybe the only difference, and I think that's maybe related to the financial difference between the two, because I think at Viking we have local players and local young players, which is a good thing, I think, to develop. So the squad is maybe more balanced. The time in Brøndby, I think the squad can be overloaded to players that cost a lot of money. And of course, having that quality in training, I'm not going to say it's going to create a better training, because I don't believe in that. I think it's more about how the training is set up and what the environment is. But in terms of like competition for the 11 spots on the pitch, it was probably more challenging because there was less difference between the players, if that makes sense. Whereas here, which I don't think is a bad thing, it's maybe you're competing against one or two other strong players, and then if it's not that, then it's a junior player, which is obviously a different challenge to fight for a spot with. But I think that's a good thing, that we're developing younger players and playing younger players and having them in training at least, which is less of the case, or at least what I saw at Brøndby. One
of your teammates in Brøndby was Cappis. What's it called?
Christian. Yeah.
Christian Cappis, and I think you connected with him quite well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was also rumored to that Viking was interested in him, but he ended up going on loan to Molde. That poor bastard. Can you just tell us a little bit, because we meet Molde in 10 days or something?
Yeah.
Not a long answer on this.
Okay.
What can we expect from him in the Eliteserien?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I probably shouldn't say be worried, but he's a fantastic player. Really is, and a fantastic guy as well. And yeah, we're really good friends. So yeah, I'm hoping for some reason he doesn't play, but no, he's a really strong player. So I think I think it was surprising to me that he didn't maybe get the chance, or at least so far the chance that he probably deserves at Brøndby. But you can maybe say that for a few. But no, he's a strong player. So yeah, I'm gonna be well prepared for if we do come up to face him. But I think he's gonna have a really strong period for these last 10 games. Sorry, that's honesty, but he's a good player.
We have to hope that, because of course we want to win at Molde, but actually we do want Molde to take some points off some other teams.
Okay, so that's a good thing then.
Yeah, they have both Bodø/Glimt and Tromsø left, so as long as we beat them and don't go on a losing streak, it's fine.
You jinxed it there.
Yeah,
it started here if we do.
Do you believe in these things?
I don't, but I think mentality does play a huge part, though. So, but that would be a test of the environment, I think, and it will show us where we're at. If
you lose at Sandefjord Sunday,
yeah, for sure. I mean, but that's okay. I don't think that's going to happen, but of course it could happen. But I think that will be an opportunity to hopefully show the learning we've made, or I would say they've made, from what happened at the end of the period last year. But again, it could be a defensive mechanism for myself, but I don't think it is, because I just don't think that's the environment now. And okay, even if it did happen, then I know we're gonna grow from it, and there'll be specific reasons of why it did, and I don't think we're in an environment to let it happen again. Of course, I wasn't here in that period, but but
you had your own growth in Brøndby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so yeah, mentality's huge, but no, I don't see this group being affected by it.
Cool. Focusing a bit more back on the fans, because another one of your teammates in Brøndby, Henrik Heggheim, he has been home, and when he's been home in Stavanger, he has been watching the game from Felto and with his supporters. Did you ever get him, how do you say, poke fun at him for not playing in front of more than 2,000 or something?
With the COVID period?
Yeah, because he's never played for a full Viking stadium.
No, I didn't make fun of it. I didn't really think on it, to be honest. But yeah, maybe that will be an exciting time when that comes in the future. Huh?
Yeah,
hopefully shorter than later. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone has sent an anonymous.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anonymous.
I always struggle with anonymous.
Yeah.
He is wondering if you're still, and I was struggling with this word, amped or hyped or excited to go surfing with fans, because I think you said something. With fans. Yeah, I think you said something last time in the podcast that people should give us a shout if you want to go surfing. Okay,
well, no one took me up on it last time, so do I want to? Yeah, for sure I would. Maybe in a period where I should be more focused on the football than the surfing, and my boards are in storage. But no, I really enjoyed it when I was here last time. So yeah, when the time is right, I'll get the boards back out. But yeah, I'll definitely embarrass myself. But no, that would be fun. Yeah. If you see me at the games, then give me a shout, and yeah, we'll try and find a time.
Cool.
To be honest, it's less about finding a time. It's more about waiting for good conditions here.
Okay.
And it's not the same as home, that's for sure.
Okay. But Skartveit, asked if you had any good surfing options at Brøndby. I suspect that it's better here than Brøndby.
It's much better here. Yeah, maybe coming from New Zealand, I would say surfing is non-existent in Denmark, but I did find that there was some pretty dedicated few that would go. I think they called it like Cold Hawaii, but it was like northwest of Denmark. So basically, sharing the same kind of weather that would Kristiansand, would kind of get that top left part. But
so it was
I never
the opposite end of Denmark.
From me, I never went up there. It was not what I heard. It was not worth the drive.
You have got yourself. I don't know if it's temporary, but you got yourself a quite nice car right now.
Okay.
You can say do you want to say what car you got, or is it secret?
I'm okay. It's secret.
Yeah. But Rune Dahl-Fitjar is wondering if you still have free car wash at Superwash from your last stay here in Viking.
From.
No, because I think the price for being the best player in the home games was
a
6 months
I remember that. I remember
subscription on car wash or something.
Okay, I haven't checked. Maybe I do need to check.
Because I think you should have at least like 4 years of subscription to
nice.
free car wash. So,
but to be honest, it's been raining so much this week. I don't think I need to wash my car. So.
It didn't look like it needed a wash.
No.
To be fair. So we're moving more and more away from like the heavy football questions, as you probably have noticed already. Before we finish, I would like to finish with some rapid fire questions you did the last time, and we can compare if you answered some of the same things.
Okay, same questions.
But before that, some questions on Down Under. Because Henrik is wondering why every living creature in Australia is trying to kill you, while in New Zealand there are no poisonous animals and all good stuff. What's the deal?
Just a better country. That's all it is. If you're traveling from here and you're going down there, like you might as well just go one country more. If you've flown 30 hours, just fly 3 more and go to the better version of Australia.
The better version of Australia. Will you be playing this part of the pod to the Aussies?
Yeah, the Aussies. Yeah, you can, but they'll of course disagree. But deep down, they know. I take this one first. Citizen is wondering if the Viking Aussies are not afraid of the kangaroo. The kangaroo.
Yeah, because it's a kangaroo.
The kangaroo.
A kangaroo. It's a song from someone called Te Helge. So you should check.
But you are talking about the animal.
Yeah, like are they because they're saying?
Yeah, because they can they're quite dangerous to be honest. You've seen those videos of them like boxing people and. Yeah, they're fun to watch.
But Te Helge sings in a song that I'm not afraid of a kangaroo or something.
From the land down under.
No, it's a local guy. It's
okay. No, I've heard this. I've heard this one. Okay. Good question. I think Johnny for sure no. Maybe Dags no as well. It'd be tough to say Yaz is afraid of them, but nah, the Aussies are pretty full on, so I think they'd deal well with them.
That's good. That's good. In Norway, we are always very happy when we do well in everything. Every time someone mentions Norway in something international, or not every time, but at least when it's not bad, we celebrate. So Emilio Sanuesa is wondering, how proud were you when Jane Campion won an Oscar for Best Director in 2022?
Oh wow, film stuff. I didn't really follow the Oscars, but for New Zealanders, epic. And then I would also mention if you guys followed the Women's World Cup, New Zealand's 1-0 victory on Norway, which I'm sure everyone's failing to ask a question on, but I was following. But no, we're similar as Norway. I think we, as a country of New Zealand, we celebrate all success across sport and culture and arts. So really cool, and it's always maybe you guys feel the same way, but it's always inspirational to see fellow countrymen having success on the world stage, and I think that's a big part of our culture as well to celebrate that.
I was really I was watching Taskmaster. Do you know the series?
Yeah.
Rose Matafeo from New Zealand. She was really good in the British series from this a couple of years back. So people should check her out. Okay. I think we're getting there now. Just scrolling through to see if there's anything we missed. People have been sending in good questions, and you've been covering them with your answers. So if people feel like they didn't get their questions in the names, I'm sorry about that. But so I think we're going to go, unless there's anything you would like to say in the end from your own. No, it's fine.
Should I?
No, I don't think so. You have told us that it's good to be back, so I think you're covered.
Okay, nice.
Just some rapid fire questions. You might remember these, but the first one: where do you go for groceries?
Rima.
Yeah, the last time it was Kiwi, so that changed.
Yeah. Okay. Really?
No, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. We talked about Kiwi. No, you said Rima.
I think that's true. Rima.
Yeah, you did.
But menu is nice. But yeah, probably Rima the most.
Yeah. I remember you did say Rima. Sorry. Favorite European football team, apart from Viking?
Barcelona, probably. I could have said Ajax last time.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Who do you room with when traveling with Viking?
Yeah, my new roommate is Sander Svendsen.
Yeah.
So poor him.
Have you had any overnight stays so far?
No, but we relax a little bit on the day trip to Haugesund.
So you don't have any fun insights on him?
On him yet? Funny insights? No, not yet. Give me time. I'll get there.
That's good. What's the best new thing you've discovered since coming to Norway?
New thing.
Yeah, do you remember what you answered last time?
I'm going to say Pepsi Max would have been my answer, but I don't drink it anymore, so that was a short-lived, that was short-lived.
So you can take time 2 years back, all your time in Stavanger.
I'm trying to think of something new, if there's anything new that I've learned this time. No, I can't think. No, I don't know. No. Sorry.
That's fine. What's your favorite song?
Oh, now.
Yeah.
That's too hard. I'll say my favorite artist now is a guy called Channel Trez.
You have to...
Channel Trez.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to check him out. That's new for me. Favorite movie?
You do have the answers from what I answered last time? Because that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I should have them, but now I have to just tell people to go and check episode 37 of the podcast.
Yeah. Trainspotting. Yeah.
I do remember that Torjar, when we asked you this favorite movie question, Torjar was throwing out a lot of suggestions.
Okay, he was just recommending.
Like Shrek or... Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I could have said Lord of the Rings. That would be good for New Zealand, but...
No, but that's good. Do you... there was one thing I wanted to ask, but it's fine. I can take it afterwards. Do you think we can sell out the stadium for Sunday?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And do you think you'll win?
Yes.
How many goals for you? I said to a friend, you should put some money on goal and assist for Joe.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a good bet to take, or?
I should score and assist more than I do. I think when I left Viking, my assists were good in the last period of the year, but it's a work in progress. So it's a risky bet, I think, because it could be really good, but it also could be non-existent. So we'll see. But it's not. You want to impact the team and the game in such a specific way, but it's not the only way. So that's my mentality on that one.
That's good. I think we will end it there for now.
Okay.
And thank you for taking the time for us again, Joe.
Easy. Anytime.
Good to have you back.
Nice.
And do you remember how we end the podcasts? I mean, you've been probably listening to all the 100 and...
Yeah.